Hi guys, it's Hailey. Welcome back to my channel. So I hope you guys don't mind a slight fan sound in the background. We are now in September officially, and as soon as we approach September and all of the local coffee shops are now serving pumpkin spice and Halloween stores are all open, I expected that we would have some nice crisp cool weather along with that, and I was terribly mistaken. It still feels like the dead middle of summer. The past few days it has been 98 and 99 degrees, so fans are still an essential. But that does not mean that I cannot post some horror content for you guys. Today I have a movie review on Orphan First Kill. This is the next installment of Orphan, the original Orphan movie. If you have not ever seen the original Orphan, turn off this video and go watch it. Just go watch it. I don't even care if you watch this video. It's a very, very good movie. Technically it's not even an installment, like a next installment. It is supposed to be a prequel. So, a lot of people did not even know this movie was coming out. In fact, you, dear viewer, may be one of those people. For whatever reason, this movie just kind of went under the radar. I don't really know why. I had heard rumors of it coming out for probably about 5 years or better, and I thought that's all it was rumors. Because, truth be told, I didn't really think we needed another one. And it just seemed like the little girl from Orphan, Isabel Furman, would get too old. So I always thought, it'll never happen. Plus, we have seen those little movie flyer pictures or posters that are fake that go around all the time. And that's kind of what I assumed this was. So, lo and behold, we enter 2021. And I actually hear more credible sources. I think Fangoria posted something a couple months back. And yeah, just more credible sources happened. So I actually knew, oh, this is happening. It's exciting. But I had two very conflicting emotions about this. The first one being, I kind of was reluctant about it. I honestly could have done without it. And I didn't really want them to make it just out of the fear of, this is going to be bad. Number two was pure excitement, and also just it being one of my most anticipated movies of the year. And so I know that those two emotions typically don't go together, but that's kind of how a lot of people felt about this once I told them or once I heard people talking about it. So the reason that I felt kind of reluctant for them to make it, and even like, why should we have this, is because the first Orphan is so dang good that it's like, do we really need another one? I feel like in today's culture, we just shit out horror movie after horror movie. And they usually aren't very good after so long. And there's something so beautiful about a standalone good horror movie. And that's kind of how I wanted this to remain. Another fact that led me to be pretty frightened is that the actress, Isabel Furman, is, I want to say, like my age. She's in her 20s now, and this movie is supposed to be a prequel. So that left me very, very fearful. And just with kind of like this dread of, oh shit, they're really going to screw this up. It's not going to pass. It's just not going to look good. And everyone had a very similar reaction to that. In fact, a lot of people were very dismissive of it just because of that. Like, they were like, it's not going to be good. But there was also that mixture of the crowd that was like, no, I'm worried, but I'm definitely excited. Because again, the first one's so good. So I watched it. I've actually seen it twice now. And I feel like the biggest thing I had walking into this experience was I needed to keep my expectations very, very low and hope to be pleasantly surprised. And that's actually exactly what happened. I was so pleasantly surprised with this damn movie. I don't know. And I know that a few people that are watching this are going to be like, what? How? It was garbage. But from what I've heard, a lot of people absolutely loved it. So one of the first good signs was I saw a couple tweets on Twitter immediately after it first came out that were like, oh my god, whatever you do, go watch the new Orphan. It's so, so good. Which left me a little bit like, okay, I didn't expect that. So that got me a little bit excited. I was still scared, but got me a little excited. So again, as I mentioned, it's supposed to be a prequel, and the first time I watched it on Paramount Plus, actually. It was already in theaters, but I've been having a ton of car issues recently, and my boyfriend had been having car issues as well, so we decided instead of going to the theaters, we were just going to watch it on Paramount. We normally are very big theater people, so this was a little bit rare for us. Watching it on a TV, I feel like did make a difference versus in the theater, though, because her age looks a lot more passable when you're watching it on a smaller screen instead of the big screen. So, like I said, I think she's in her 20s, and she was like 8 or something. Like, I mean, I might be wrong, but she was a kid. Like, she was like 8 or 10 or something around that age when this movie came out in the past. I think it came out in 2008, so that's like a 14-year age gap. And she definitely doesn't look 8 or 9 or 10 or however old she's supposed to be. Like, she looks older than that. I would say she looks like she's like 14. But when I watched it on the TV, I do feel like it looked slightly more convincing. I've seen it twice, and the second time was in theaters, and I do feel like in theaters she looks a lot older. You can just see details a lot better, and I feel like she looks like she's like 14 or 15, 16, around there. Like, she looks like a teenager, which still, for being in her 20s, isn't like the worst. But I do feel like, especially your first viewing of the movie, you'll think that you're going to pay attention to how old she looks more than the plot of the movie, and it's actually kind of not the case. At least for me, it wasn't. So yeah, there is that slight little flaw, but I feel like they did do a good enough job at hiding her age a little bit, because the one thing I saw a tweet of that was hilarious is they actually had every actor in the movie wearing platforms, so she looks a lot more tiny, which, just how small she looks in the film definitely gives you more of like that feeling that she's younger. They definitely kind of bamboozle you with that. And if I did not see that photo of like, it's like her and the family's wearing platforms, I wouldn't have known that, and I would have been like, how is she so tiny? The other thing is they put circle lenses in her eyes, so she has like more of like the big kind of doll looking eye that makes her look younger, and I do feel like this technique worked pretty well. It looks pretty theatrical and like unnatural if you're really paying attention, but it does a good job of disguising her. So at the end of the day, I think you need to go into this movie with her age that she is supposed to look not being the biggest factor, because if it was not for that little detail, I honestly really don't have complaints about the movie. I'm not going to spoil anything, but the biggest thing I will say is the plot twist in this movie is literally insane. And yes, you heard me right. There's a plot twist in this movie as well, which, going into this movie, I was like, how the hell are they even going to have a plot twist? I didn't think that they would. I didn't expect one, because that's the biggest thing about the original Orphan that everyone loved so much, is the crazy out-of-this-world plot twist. There has never been one like it, at least in any movie I've watched. It was so crazy. And this movie kind of keeps up with that. I do feel like the plot twist in the first Orphan is obviously a little bit more shocking. Not the first one. Technically, this should be the first one because it's a prequel. But in the original Orphan, I think that plot twist will always be the most shocking because of what it was. But this one is really, really great. So if you are a plot twist lover like myself, you might really enjoy this. In general, it was just, like, I feel like one of the best movies of 2022 that I have seen so far. And I really don't know if any other movies will show that up for me, personally. I was very, very pleasantly surprised, because I kind of feel like a buzzkill anytime I watch a new horror movie, because I'm always slightly let down from it, or it just isn't as good as I want it to be. And this was probably as good as it could be to me for what it was. I thought at best I would leave this movie with, oh, it was good. Like, it wasn't bad, but it was really, really good. Some other things to discuss. I feel like there's not a lot I can really say about the movie without spoiling it. So, I don't know. I mean, it's just one of those, I definitely recommend going and watching the movie. It is really trickling out of theaters pretty quick, so if you want to see it, look up showtimes. I would go see it as soon as you can if you were wanting to, or just go and watch it on Paramount Plus. That's also, you're watching the movie, so why not? But really, really great movie. Like I said, I think it just really exceeded my expectations. So, my boyfriend and I, like I said, we watched it together for the first time, and he actually said he enjoyed it more than the original, which really, really shocked me. I was surprised because I still think the original's better, which I think is maybe kind of important when doing reviews. Do I like it better than the original? No, but I kind of knew that would be impossible. But he did, which really shocked me. And yeah, he was really pleasantly surprised too. He didn't think it was going to be that good. So I went and saw it with my friend on the second showing, and she loved it as well. But it was such a pleasant surprise for everyone that I have heard talk about it. So I want to say, like, scoring wise, like, what would I give it out of, like, a blah 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 out of 10? I would probably give it like an 8.5 out of 10. And the only reason it's not higher is I feel like, again, watching it in theaters, I feel like looking at her age, I was very, very focused on, like, picking up on it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was very fixated on she looks 14 or 15 versus 8, 9, or 10. And I feel like that kind of got in my head a little bit. And the second thing is, I think if you sit and think hard enough about it, you could probably, like, find some little plot holes if you try. But 8.5 out of 10 is a very, very high rating for me amongst horror movies because, like I said, I feel like I'm so picky with horror movies anymore. At least anything that has come out in the past few years. And I don't like being like that. I want to enjoy horror movies. Any movie I see, I wish I could love. But that's just not the case most of the time. So, for me, that's actually a very high rating. So, I feel like for things to be rated 10 out of 10, it is, like, one of my favorite movies, you know? So, go watch it. I'm trying to think if I'm missing any details. Seeing it a second time also is really great because the plot twist, you can kind of focus on some things and then you're like, oh, it does make sense. Like, it fits perfectly. So, yeah. I honestly thought it was kind of brilliant, if I'm being honest. Like, when it ended, I actually, when we watched it at home, I clapped because I was like, ooh, like, they got me. Like, they did it to me. So, go watch it. Highly recommend. I will have lots more movie reviews coming through the next few months because we are actually getting a lot of horror this year. So I hope my next reviews, I have as much happiness and I'm giving such a good review to those movies as well. Because again, I want to like these movies, guys. I really do. Let me know what you guys thought of it. Although I'm a little scared because I feel like anytime I think a movie's really well done, people shit on it and are like, it sucked. Not on YouTube as much. You guys have been really, really kind, which I appreciate, but like on, you know, other social medias. So, again, let me know what you thought of the movie, respectfully, please. And have a great rest of your day or night, wherever you are. I love you guys so much.